So welcome everybody to the Gamingbrew channel where we love and play all things Dungeons and Dragons. Tonight is Rise in Embers, episode 3. If it's your first time being here, hit that follow button or that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. We play Rise in Embers every week, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. And there's nothing more to say because this is about to be a big game, so let's do it. Hey, new intro. What you guys think? It's pretty cool.
That's pretty baller. That was cool.
That was pretty sick.
That is a beautiful intro.
Emotional, damn it.
We got probably the new favorite bits. So in episode 2, the 5 of you woke up from being, let's say, stunned from the witch Syl, where she stole the Jarl Tenfeather's daughters, Assa and Runa. You're able to track her, skipping over some stuff about Troll, Stew, and the Barrow Fist Hills. You guys made it to a very large barrow that was shaped like a dragon, and you crushed my puzzle, defeated it in like 2 minutes. It didn't even matter. Opening up the door to the small little dungeon where a creature stepped out that was half human, half grafted dragon flesh. Then you made your way into the depths below where you found some sailing, some of these human barbarians who you thought at first were undead. Turns out they weren't. They were definitely risen by something. You found Syl performing some incantation on the daughter Runa. You rescued her, killed the witch, and found some strange dragon's blood that was being used to bring the Salian back to life. After that, you made your way out of the dungeon crawl, where you found Jarl Tenfeather and his Rook Shadow clan were searching for you, attempting to help you. And now they have led you back to the Great Hall. We're going to pick up at the Great Hall. This is the 6th of Narwin. It is Faria, which is basically like Friday. As you return to the Great Hall, everyone loaded in okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Jarl Tenfeather steps into the hall. He looks tired. He's still covered in the muck and mud. Prophet giving you guys advantage. Boom. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Man, it's gonna suck when he's in his own game.
Just means we'll have to return the favors.
Oh, busy those nights.
Just don't give Prophet advantage. Don't even give anyone else in the group.
There is no Almadoon.
So the 5 of you step into the Great Hall. The fires are still lit. Some of the Salian are sitting around and they greet the Jarl as he steps in. His 2 children, Assa and Runa, look exhausted. And with a meager smile and thank yous, they make their way south out of the Great Hall towards their bed chambers. Gustradh goes over to the Jarl and begins to cast some sort of, looks like a healing spell that she casts, and you can see the Jarl catch his breath, sits down at his throne, nods at Björg, then Bolvar, Alec sit down and they have their eyes locked on the 5 of you. And as the 5 of you step in, stand around the Jarl, he gives a meager smile, regaining his senses. I thank you for what you did for my daughters. It takes a lot of courage to have happened what happened to you and then continue to fight through the wilderness, bring them back when they're not even your own kin. As I said, I'm still happy to reward you. And he motions to Gustradh. Gustradh pulls out a sack, burlap sack, and there's some gold coins you can see brimming out the top. And he tosses each of you 50 gold. Please put this in your pocket, and here, I'll take this as well. And he hands you this like a reddish bandana with a black raven on it. Tie this around your arm, wherever you see fit. When any of the townsfolk here see that you are wearing my insignia, you'll be greeted hospitably in Vartungard. But outside these city walls, the greeting may not be as warm as it is here. Something to be aware of. Now it is late. It's been a long, long trip. I haven't seen my wife in some time and I need to check on her and make sure she is okay. If there's nothing else the five of you need, you're welcome to sleep here by the fire, or you have lodgings prepared at some of the inns inside Vartungard. But I will call on you again in the future, for you have done very well.
I would have one request, good Jarl Tenfeather. If we might have a discussion tomorrow in the morn.
That would be alright. Something important?
Just would be about the events, especially those of concerning your daughter, Runa, and that of the Witch Sill.
Yes. I do owe the five of you an explanation. I'd be happy to give it tomorrow after some rest. You all look like you could use a nice nap, maybe a bath. But I will be here tomorrow.
Could I determine what Gustradh did to the Jarl when we first came in?
Make an Arcana check. "12. She did a lesser restoration."
Okay. Was there... Did it, Gustradh would probably say, did you run into any issues, coming after us?
A few traitors. The blood was spilled, nothing more.
Was one of those traitors, Sty?
He still lives. He will face the battle axe soon enough.
So you did run into him?
Did not see him, but I did see some of his, we'd call them lackeys.
Well, I just wanted to let you know that we did not run into him. We only saw the witch.
We did run into those afflicted with something. Do you know anything of that?
'Twas a strange magic. Undead, but not truly undead.
With scales all over their bodies.
Jarl looks at Estrid.
Perhaps something of this Renfang.
It would seem we need to speak now. This might not wait till the morning. He points at some of the other Rook Shadow sailing that are in the room. "Leave my halls. Come back tomorrow." They don't even question it. They just pick it up. They start to disembark. Leaving only... Fresh that green. Leaving only Bolvar, Alec, Berg, Estrid, and then the five of you. Jarl stands up out of his chair. Training and teaching. Thanks for the subs. Appreciate it, guys. He moves to the door behind him. And he unlocks it and he opens it. And some of you that are in the corner there, you can see there's a woman lying on a bed. She looks a little ill. Looks to be sailing He steps inside, and you can hear a whisper, "Come. I must show them." You can hear her groan, she grunts in pain as she slowly gets up out of bed. She sounds injured. And then he helps her walk out to the throne. As she walks out, she sits down on the chair. You can see the Jarl is like very, very tender, very loving as he helps her sit down very gently. For the first time, you can see Narina Tenfeather. This is the Jarl's wife. She has the crimson red hair like Runa Casa. She looks exhausted. Shannon, you would immediately pick up that Narina Tenfeather is covered from head to toe in you just pick up the magic that's like permeating off of her. My wife Narina is also afflicted by scales. As you look at her, you don't see any disfiguration, you don't see any scales. Her eyes are normal, teeth are normal. It looks nothing like the other creatures that you saw in the barrows.
I will
How
take
did something like that happen?
Steps forward.
If you will, Great Jarl, can I inspect her?
I'm afraid inspections won't do it justice, but it might be time, Esther, to drop the illusion and let them see Marina as she is today. Esther nods, and she drops the illusion and she shows Marina's true self. And you see, as the illusion fades away, Shannon, the magic that you feel from your tether sense also fades. And you see her flesh is scaled and coarse on the right side. The right side of her teeth comes down like daggers, and her right eye resembles a reptile. And even more so now, her breath is labored and still extremely weak, and she looks like she has a hard time just sitting in the chair. It's gotten worse since Runa was born. We slow the affliction with ointments from Fate Bearer Hovland of the Temple of Desolation, but we've spent many years trying to find a cure for my wife. It's important. Only the 5 of you and the rest in this room know of her true self. Not even our daughters know.
Gustradh told us that Runa was a fiend, correct?
Yes, and I would just like to use Divine Sense.
Okay.
At this time.
That
what I was
falls
asking
into
about
Shannon is
inspection.
going to look over at Gustradh. Good paladin, would you mind inspecting to see if Narina is also afflicted by a fiend?
As you cast Divine Sense, Narina Tenfeather is a fiend.
And which church offered the ointments of the
Temple
What
of
was the name?
Desolation. The one that goes across the bridge.
Jarl Tenfeathers? I'm sure you're aware that there is a fiend that is possessing your wife. Surely, Matron of Raven's Church must have informed you.
We have spoken to them at great lengths, not just Fate Bearer Hovland of Temple of Desolation, but we've also spoken with Thader Opalina, the shaman. They have different views on how to help my wife, and we've tried many things. We've spoken to many wise and academics, religious. Nothing has cured my wife. We've done exorcisms, we've removed curses. She still remains plagued by this condition.
Hmm.
Well,
What academics have you sought the guidance of?
Magnus Darkshield has been very welcoming and since he's taken over as warlord, and he has sent some of his finest who have looked at her. I prefer to keep this in the north.
well, Jarl, I have traveled far and wide. And while you believe that this affliction is only known in your inner circle, I can let you know that I have heard rumor of not only of your wife, but of your child. Of strange things that have happened during childbirth. I do not believe that people know about the fiend, but they definitely are suspicious, and that is one of the reasons why I'm here. I think it's something that you should know, that not all your secrets are held within your inner circle.
Loose lips. It's that damn Gustradh, I'd imagine.
I do not know, nor can I confirm.
Would
But
it
I
be
do want-
safe to posit that this occurred under the watchful eye of Syl? Once midwife?
Oh, we lost somebody. We lost
Oh no, oh Roberto.
His internet went out.
Oh,
Back is it?
yeah, man, hope he comes back. This might look weird on the cameras for a bit. Until he comes back. We'll keep going.
Have you not thought to let the condition finish? Perhaps what's happening to her is just the midterm. You might need to see it through.
My fear is I don't know if we have a choice. And he squeezes his wife's hand. She almost looks like she doesn't even realize what's going on anymore.
Well, what we found down in the crypt of the Renfang is that there was some sort of sacrifice with your daughter. It almost looked like they were trying to summon some sort of dragon. That is my guess. I do not know for sure. I wonder if your wife might be used for the same purposes. I think you need to be coming to the realization that maybe there isn't a cure. And what I would want to know is, are you willing to take the steps that are necessary to prevent them from being used to summon some sort of abomination?
There is belief that there may be a cure. But I don't know if it is something that I'm willing to give to see it happen. There, Belina of the Dead Tongue believes that if we were to kill my daughter, that it would free my wife.
And what proof has she provided?
She believes since she, like the others in her shamanistic cult, they believe that not only can they speak with the matron, but they can also speak with Bodoma and the ethereal plane and the spirits that walk. Will guide my daughter away and the rest of my wife back to her body. Hey, he's back.
Sorry about that. My dad reset my Wi-Fi router.
Classic.
Torm just took a quick nap in the middle of this very serious conversation.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You had beer? Ale? Soggy bread?
Oh. Good Jarl, we might not need to resort to such things. Oft curses and the bond can be reversed. I would assume being of Renfang, that the Sill is the disgusting is also of Renfang. It would be possible if we could track him down, we could potentially find, in some way, materials and things used to cause such a curse once possessed by Sill.
Here's an idea.
Would not be a guarantee, but would give a better chance to at least try.
As her condition worsens, I find myself staying more and more in the hall, just in case something were to happen. But if it's true what you say and you are here to help, it might be wise to coordinate with two clergies of the matron. They've both been... Oh, he's gone again! They've both been working day and night to try to save my wife.
I would be very interested to talk to them to see what their opinions are. I'm surprised that they have been as forgiving as I thought that they would be.
Well, not to divulge too much of the Willow Shadow's motivation, my interests are in that of Magnus Darkshield and Hrothgar in particular. But this type of situation, especially involving that of fiends, could potentially be calamitous in and of itself. Something we strive to understand and prevent.
If she's turning into a dragon, I don't know why you're stopping that.
Well, we don't understand and cannot find a way to reverse it. What's to say that another cult such as this Renfang can't simply engineer another?
Is Runa changing as well then? Does she have scales?
None that we've seen so far.
Then would it not be safe to assume that your wife and your daughter have different afflictions? If the conditions are not the same? Perhaps your wife is just turning into what she's meant to be. Something that can lead your clan.
The safe assumption would be that eventually Runa will befall the same fate. But being born into the affliction might be different than the affliction being forced upon you.
That could be possible, but have they not both had it at the same amount of time? I would swear if they've both had the affliction as long as each other, it would show of equal value, would it not?
Not necessarily.
It could progress slower in the child.
Slow enough that there's not a single scale on her.
Or perhaps one of them got one half and the other got the other half.
Did, DM question. When I sensed both the fiend and the mother and the daughter, is there a way to tell the potency of the fiend? Or just identifying that there is a fiend there?
They're both their type is just fiend. So there's they're not like half and half, they're just like pure fiend.
Okay. So I couldn't tell which one would be stronger or not.
Nope.
Just that's a fiend. Alright.
Yeah, they're both like just pure fiends now. Almost like you're talking to two demons.
Okay.
Now, would Shannon be knowledgeable of anything similar to this through study at especially the Royal College?
So usually you were right when you thought that you could just like perform an exorcism or cast out the fiend. But since he says he's tried that, it kind of gives you pause that this might be something different. But then you might also think that maybe they didn't do it correctly. So, I mean, it could be either or.
Bing bang.
Estrid recasts the illusion, and Arena turns back to her normal look, although she still looks very tired. Tenfeather helps her up, takes her back to bed so she can rest.
Last question, Jarl Tenfeather, before you retire for the evening. Would you have any way of communication with the Royal College, Raven, anything of that sort?
Yeah, we can send word.
I'll reach in and grab one of the skills I carved off of one of the bodies. And just not show it, but I'd like to send a raven to the Royal College, specifically to my order.
So to send a raven in such fashion, you have to make your way to the Temple of Desolation, where they keep the roost. And if you give that to Flock Caller Vesper, she should be able to send it to the Royal College. But she also might try to talk you out of it. I prefer to keep things away from anything that touches the Krovian Empire, especially after the war.
I'll nod.
I do feel as if we're running out of time, though. I don't know if what she will become is worthy of this world, but I'm not sure what to expect.
Has it progressed faster more recently?
No,
Or has the rate stayed the same?
been about the same. It just slowly consumes her. She still has some time, I think. I just don't know if once the scales fully take her brain, it will change who she is.
If it comes to that, that's when we will decide whether or not we have to put her down. But like you said, we have time to find a cure still.
And that is, of course, if a cure is actually needed. You put too much faith into medicine when sometimes nature just needs to do what it needs to do.
This is...
Well, nature oft
Not
work in
nature.
the same way of science. Knowledge is often derived from nature itself. Tis all interconnected.
That doesn't mean that humans need to understand that interconnection. Sometimes it's beyond you.
This has nothing to do with nature. This was forced upon them.
And you never had nature force something upon you before, Gustradh? I seem to
Take some time to
remember...
think about it.
I remember yesterday a saber-tooth attacking you. If anything, that felt like perhaps nature was forcing itself upon you.
You may have a point for that, but no, you're wrong in this. This was not anything related to nature.
Well, I suppose we must merely see how it plays out then.
Do you think, because we are loyalists for the Matron of Ravens, that this is doing of fallen elf? I know.
Who is he directing that to? Sorry.
Yeah.
Gustradh and Shannon. We know the Shadow Wars rages in the below, and it pushes the matron's gaze away from this world quite often. And none are more loyal to her than we. Sometimes I look at this as a test on our family, and that she will once save us. his grasp.
I suppose the answer to that depends upon who the Renfang worship.
Have you slighted them in the past?
Something to learn about being part of the Warlords Alliances. There are many clans that are not, and the clans that are not all feel slighted by the clans that are.
When he says that, Torgrim would say like the Thunderwolves.
Thunderwolf. Maybe one day they'll also join the alliance.
One day soon, hopefully. But that's not what we're here to discuss.
It almost seemed like on those stones that the Renfang and the Rook Shadow clan were somewhat friendly at one point. Some sort of alliance in the past.
Yes, but desperation oft breeds maligned alliance.
You have my word that I would never be caught with a alliance with a Renfang.
But perhaps the Renfang could be caught in an alliance with the Fallen Elf. Or maybe simply a pact.
I'm not sure I'm quite getting this. What are the Renfangs? I know of them of name alone, and I've learned about them less than 3 hours ago.
Would seem to be a fallen clan seeking its way back into the fold. Not much more. I'm assuming that is correct, Jarl.
Yeah, that is correct. Well, there are other clans that have chosen to walk under the Rook Shadow's banner while keeping their allegiance to their clan. The Renfang have always wanted to be more. When a clan goes against their word, breaks their honor, Sailing will not be caught dead with them. We push them out of our tribes, push them out of our civilizations.
Do you by chance know who was in charge of them when they made these actions?
I do not know.
Were you not Jarl then? Or are they leaderless?
They've been leaderless for quite some time. They've been not even a whisper on the wind. They've just been gone.
I think more likely they're good at hiding their leader.
Their leader may be. In the distance, at least. On our way back, we had encountered someone in full dragon scale armor.
No, those were not scales. I've seen scales. That was bone. It is wearing the corpse of a dragon, not its scales. Big difference.
We have a token of them being in existence, and I look at Till.
Just kind of move her head a little bit to the one side, like curiously, and you can see like antennas flick a little bit, and like, I don't know what you're talking about. We have a talisman.
We do have a talisman. Shannon, do you have the mirror?
Ah, yes. Wait, you gave that back to me, right? That necklace?
Nope.
No, I think Till took it.
Still has
Still
it.
has it.
I don't remember if she did secretly or not, so that's why I'm like.
It would seem that I do not have the talisman. If you would be so kind, Till. Shannon will extend his hand.
Till will look at your hand, and then she'll like look at the talisman that is clearly wrapped around one of her smaller arms. I think it'd be safer if I was to keep this. I don't sense any magics from it. No connection to the bond. I don't think it would serve much purpose. It's nothing more than dragon teeth and some feathers.
But it could still provide answers.
I'm sure the Jarl will give it back to you if you ask for it.
Well,
It's just proof.
I'm sure if those answers are needed, we can get them later than now. This is something I'd like to hold on to.
Any particular reason why you want to hold on to it now instead of getting answers now?
Jarl's gonna insight Till to see if you're at Renfang. Make a deception or persuasion.
Can I insight as well? I am very, very curious.
God damn it, Till.
Sorry, I'm doing persuasion or deception, you said?
Yep.
Oh no.
Are you part of Renfang?
I am not.
Alright,
no.
so the Jarl and Shannon both see that you're not.
I'm one who is very curious of dragons, and I like to collect things of them. But I can promise you, from these, they're nothing more than just teeth.
How about you just hold them out for everyone to see? You can still keep it.
Oh, yeah. She'll sigh in annoyance, but knows that without humoring you, that this will not end. So she'll extend one of her lower hands, the one that it's wrapped around, and she'll kind of like twist her wrist a little bit to let some of the teeth that are on it like dangle. But it's wrapped around enough that you'd have to like pull it quite aggressively off of her forearm.
We found this on the witch.
He looks at it intently. He leans over to Estrid. Estrid whispers in his ear. And he sits back up. It might be worthy to take that and let either Temple of Desolation or the Satyr of the Dead Tongue look it over. As much as I hate to say this, Gizrog might be able to use his magics in some way to help bridge the gap if you think finding this and wiping out this clan might save my wife and daughter.
Gustrad's shoulders just fall with the hefty ask of trying to get Till to hand over anything.
Yeah, she'll flick her wrist, and the teeth kind of like wrap around between her thumb and pinky, and then she'll just put it back, resting it on the satchel across her torso.
Did you bring out the carved bone mirror as well, Shannon?
Oh yeah, I'll pull that out.
You looked in the mirror. It's not a
Have we?
It's not a connection to any kind of strange, wicked magics, is it?
I'm assuming it's not magical.
Nope.
No, the mirror has no connection with the bond. As far as I can tell right now, it's just bone mirror. Or a mirror etched in bone.
It's good. Not one of their communication devices.
Have you seen such a thing before?
Dark Shields use it when they communicate with each other over long distances. So it's not a bone mirror, it's a carved in the likeness of Hrolfair himself.
The Dark Shields, you say, and Hrolfair. That's interesting.
Imagine you might even find some on your journeys if you go to one of the bigger capitals. Some of these two-way mirrors to communicate with one another. But if that's not magical, then that is a good sign. This Renfang clan no doubt knows that now that we know, something is amiss. We shall see if they are brave enough to counterattack Vartungard itself, crushed under our might, or if they will continue to hide in the forests, in the trees, and in the shadows.
I think it's safe to say that they will continue to stay in the shadows. They infiltrated your house a long time ago during the birth of your child, and now we are here. I highly doubt that they will come out and face you head on. You have a lot to think about tonight, Jarl. Do you trust your inner circle? Can you save your wife and child? We've taken up a lot of your time, and I believe that my party and I are quite weary as well. Does anyone else have any questions for the Jarl?
Yeah, he slumps in his chair after you said that to him, and you can see that he feels the weight and he knows the situation. And he sighs. Well, hopefully your being here and the matron telling us that you would come is good news. Not just for your sake, but for my wife's.
I can agree with that. I just have one question for my own knowledge before we head off. Do you know anything about Brigitte Runehouse at all?
He thinks for a minute. No, that doesn't strike a chord.
No worries. I was hoping it would.
That your sister?
My daughter, actually. She's been missing for some time. Just trying to find her.
Didn't think one like yourself would be able to have a daughter. Congratulations. And she'll comically slap your shoulder.
The cop
sure.
duo, Till and Torgrim.
Not sure what you mean by that, Till, but yes, I'm very capable of fathering children.
I'm merely talking about the fact that I don't think you've bathed since you've been born. I can smell you from here.
You were standing right next to him.
That's the problem.
Fair enough. I can assure you that I bathed, like, at least 2 weeks ago.
She'll rub her hand on the wall above you, the one she touched your shoulder with.
Jarl, my friends seem to be in need of a bath. Where can we go for a night's rest?
The Jarl's like, he looks a little confused at the situation.
I'm very confused as well.
Gall Crusher Inn might be the best tavern in town. Show them your bands and they'll let you sleep for free.
Is it customary to wear it on your arm? These bands?
Usually on the bicep. But as long as it's visible, you should be okay.
Very well. I think Gustradh would adorn it on his like a claymore, kind of where the handle is.
Yes.
Probably really stupid to do in combat, but I think it looks cool.
It looks cool.
It's all that matters is that it looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks sick.
Yeah, Till's gonna keep that in her pocket.
So the five of you leave the Great Hall. And as you step out into Vartungard, you guys are currently up here. You can go to any of the markers. It has some stuff a lot bigger than others, but everything has connection of some kind. And then there's all kinds of plot lines and rumors and hooks and things to do. It is a little late in the evening, but it's still good enough to check everything out. Vartungard. Vartungard? That sounds like a deodorant that Torgrim needs to wear. Wonderful place to fart and buy shields. If you guys want to stay as a party, I can move your banner around to wherever you want to go. Or if you want to split up, it's also an option.
Session 3, split up the party. I'm down.
Yeah, and they
Hey,
talked
we
about
wanted to do it the other times.
So we would probably need to have. Well, we took a long rest, right?
Nope, you have to
we
take a long
haven't
rest
yet.
we've
You
not.
guys are still fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I meant before going into the cave because we slept that one night.
You
Last
slept?
session.
You slept with the troll.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when you say it like that,
Hey, trolls need love too.
And soup. And friends.
So now,
goodbye.
if you're looking for your long rest, you want to go to the end. There's some stuff at the end too. If you want to do that first, you can do that.
Well, it looks like I'm stuck with you guys at least until this Runa situation is dealt with. Are we wanting to stick together, or are we meeting up later?
I think it makes sense to stay together and maybe have a drink before we sleep and celebrate our victory.
Oh, it has been a long couple days. Suppose I can't say no to that.
Okay. You make your way down from the high peaks of the Great Hall. As you do, you're going to walk past the second lift. And the second lift is where the other clans that aren't Rook Shadow all house and all stay. As you make your way past, you'll see the Jotunborn clan, which is here. This is a clan of Olvaldi. And I won't give you too much detail unless you want to come back and see them. And then also to the west is the Stonefist clan. This is a group of Salian that worship Udgir. Continuing past, you pass one of these fire pits. These fire pits are scattered around Vartungard. These fire pits roar with the charred remains of bones and ash. And the citizens keep these lit, so these are like community fire pits that you can sit at any time and just chat, get warm, and hang out in. You also can see as you go down to the next floor that the Snow Elf clan has a presence over here. And their area is much more extravagant. They have bigger banners, which gives you the sense that this is an emissary. You would assume that the Snow Elves and the Rook's Shadow are like allies of some kind. Continuing down is an extremely large statue of Jarl Tenfeather himself, made of stone. He stands with his shoulders back and his chest out, looking like a badass. Eventually you make your way to the end. Now this tavern, although it's a thatched roof that's seen better days, the weathered stone building provides a welcome respite from the cold wind that you're currently in. Above the entrance is an old sign, which sways in the wind. It squeaks as it welcomes you with rusted chains. Let's bring you into the inn. I'm going to drop your tokens on before you can see. Right. So as you step in, there's a large crackling fire in a large central area, and you can smell the aroma of seasoned fish stew, which is the first thing that you notice as you step through the door. There are several booths and tables and a long bar fashioned from wood, which makes this in a very inviting place. There are currently only two patrons at the time. One is an orc. He looks large, somewhat intimidating. There's a map that sits in front of him that he looks at very confused. And then across from me there's a booth, and this booth looks like he's a Rashimi sailor. He has deep scars which gnarl his face, and one of his eyes is drooping. He looks like he's been through hell. And then behind the bar, you can see what's undoubtedly a father and daughter. The father has a very rugged appearance, but he has a huge smile on his face, and he greets you warmly. As he waves, you can see he's missing his 2 fingers on his right hand, so he waves with just 3 fingers. And then you can't help but notice too that his daughter has an apron on, and the apron has a bunch of There's gutted fish parts that cover the front of it. She also has that big smile just like your dad, and she waves to you too. Welcome, grab a seat. Don't be shy.
What race are they behind the bar?
They're both saline and human. Behind them, in the corner here, there's also a notice board. If you want to see, you can just yell at me and I'll show you the notice board.
Well, Till is gonna wait for someone else to make the first move. Yeah.
At that, Torgrim would move into the booth and ask for 2 pints for himself.
I guess I will get the first order. You all can get the next round. What would you like to drink?
Water will be fine for me.
2 ales for Torgrim. Shannon?
I suppose 1 ale won't hurt.
Stag?
I do not need anything.
Drinks all you
Okay.
read.
I will have 3 ales, 2 waters. Make it a third water.
Well, my large friend, we have 2 kinds of ale here. One is my own concoction. It is delicious, exceptionally strong, and smells of shite. I call it the hag shot. He points behind the bar. You can see this pickled jar. This kelp is being fermented in rye and citrus and has this olive colored look. Smells awful, but it'll get you drunk. And then we have some dimmed mind wine. This is a little bit less bitter than Dwarven Ale. It's imported from Ireland, though. Not as strong as a hag shot, but tastes a little bit better.
Gustradh will kind of take a pause and then look back at the table of his party, kind of sizing them up, being like, I really should have figured this out beforehand, and was like, well, I'm just gonna wing it. And say, we'll have 2 hag shot and 2 dim mind wine. And 1 of the mulled wine.
That's what I said. It's Ireland.
Okay, I thought we were like some earth beverages just fucking showed up.
But you would know it's to the east of Vartungard / Fartungard. So the hag shots are 5 copper apiece, and the dim mind wine is 1 silver. Salta is also going to say, tonight's special is my famous fish stew. 2 silver a bowl. It's turnips, carrots, onions, mussels, and crab, served with bread and butter. We also have a cheese and dried sausage plate with thick link dried smoked sausages. And we make sure to give you a generous portion.
I will have a stew for myself, and I'll have a platter for the table.
2 silver for the stew and 2 silver for the platter. You won't regret it. It is delicious. I just made it. And she points to her stained apron.
So 5 copper pieces for each for the hag shot, and how much for the wine?
1 silver.
1 silver, and then 4 copper.
6 silver total.
Okay. Thank you.
2 for each meal. 1 for the 2 drinks and 1 for the 1 drink.
As you're getting your ale, Jameson saw the Rashimi pirate sitting down at the bottom of the bar is going to yell out, if you buy me one of them hag shots, I'll tell you a story.
That seems... What type of story is it? Is it a tall tale?
It's something I
Child's
seen with
story?
my own eyes.
And this is the one... who's saying this? The orc or the...
Jameson, I think.
Jameson?
Walk up as he talks to you. He wants a hag shot and Fartungard. New memes, Vartungard.
I like rounding, and I'll just buy him two hag shots because I just 1 silver.
Takes both. He takes the first one and just downs it, hiccups, and as he hiccups, you can smell the foul smell come off his breath from the shot. He carries the other one, and he's going to get behind Dill and Silent Stag, and then like lean over the bar, like the chairs towards you, so that he's like included himself in the conversation.
Till will aggressively move to make sure that there's as much space between her and this thing as possible, and turn to make sure that she can see him.
And I have all the drinks with me, right? They've already prepared them.
Yep.
All right, so I distribute, and I say, well, Torgrim, they didn't really have much ale, but they have this house special, and they said it'll get you drunk, so I've ordered you 2. And Sean, they had some wine here. It's supposed to be a little bit more mild. Maybe that was up your alley. And Stag, I said, no, you said you didn't want anything, but trees need water too, so here you go. Maybe you can sink some roots in there. And Till, here's your water.
Appreciated.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Gustradh.
This guy was going to tell us a joke. What's your joke?
Is that why he's here?
Not a joke, it's a story.
Yes, that's what I meant.
So,
I'm sure this will be wonderful.
What kind of story there?
a few months back, in this very inn, complaints of a foul odor in the inn led to the discovery of a rotten corpse. The remains were of a merchant sea captain. His name was Atticus Finn. Rumors have it that a cursed obsidian figurine began to circle the marketplace, and a powerful ghost pirate named Karkin leads a fleet of undead Salian longships that scours the frozen north. This ghost pirate, Karkin, is looking for this obsidian figurine. And me, myself, I found Atticus Finn's body. But I didn't find the figurine. But rumor has it that he sold the figurine and then died hours later. And now the figurine is somewhere in this very place.
Like
Somewhere
in the
marketplace?
in the inn?
This is where he died, in this very inn. I saw it myself with my own 2 eyes.
You saw him die.
I saw his body. And one doesn't just see a body and not ask how the body came to die. He's cursed by the pirate Karkin because he sold his figurine. You look like sailors. Well, some of you do.
That's quite the tale.
Worthy of 2 shots, yes?
Well, you asked for 1, and I was generous with 2, so are you going to tell us 2 stories?
Well, I can give you a little extra. That'll make you feel right and fine.
Very well.
I seen it with me own 2 eyes. Undead mammoths prowling the lands to the north. They walk the tundra by Hvalsir, south of the snow elves. They roam like a herd, all bones and sinew with a strange cerulean glow. Creepy is what it is. Wonder what they're doing.
Now, when you say with your own 2 eyes, do both of them work correctly? Because one of them doesn't look like it works 100%.
Sean is gonna pull out his journal and take notes.
So he rubs the droopy one. I can see you plain as day. You weird looking bear.
Is the bear part of the mammoth story or Atticus Finn's story?
Oh, the bear's right there. He sits and drinks. Amazing. Your companion.
Ah, you're talking about Torgrim, the man-child.
And you journey with a large garden rake made of wood.
Yeah, I don't think your eyes work very well. Sorry to
You
let
just call me.
The garden rake speaks magic. He gets up and he slowly starts to lumber away.
Oh, that obsidian figurine. Did you know what it looked like?
He looks over his shoulder. No. He falls back down.
Well, at least that was entertaining. I got us a platter and a soup for myself. I bought you all drinks, so when they come back around to give it, you can put your order in if you wish, but that is what I'm chipping in for tonight.
Humans make no sense.
Till. That man had one eye.
And you're telling me that our connection means that we must trust him? Of all the people in Vartungard, that's the one you think?
Why you must trust someone with only one eye?
It's a Southern Pine thing. I don't think you'd understand, Gustradh.
Yes.
Seems a bit odd to have just a blanket statement like that, trusting only people with one eye. Why do you not have only one eye? Do you not trust each other?
No.
Apparently not.
Your ways are very odd.
Here's your notice board before I forget to make pop up.
Ah.
Ooh, thank you.
Pop up. It'll be under the journal too.
I'm not seeing it in the journal tab. The only thing in the journal tab we have right now is just the party journal.
Ooh.
You know?
Gizrog's Wondrous Emporium.
Why do I feel like that's an orc, and why do I feel like he's gonna rip us off?
Oh, they need a multilinguist.
We obviously have to go kill that dragon.
The multilinguist also has a bunch of blood on the bottom of that.
Question is Till gonna let us kill the dragon?
All I'm gonna say is the one man that we're told to trust can't even tell apart a dwarf and a bear, so I have a feeling that it might not be of dragon origin.
I thought that just would give you ammunition for your next insult at Torgrim.
I mean,
I'm Till is too caught off guard about what just happened. That was the most out there conversation I think she's ever had.
does that count as having one eye? Because he's still.
I counted two myself. It might be a bit more literal than you think, perhaps.
Now that we have some time to talk and that random gentleman has left us alone, I have two questions for all of you here at this table. My first one, as I asked the Jarl, do any of you have information on my daughter, Brigitte Runehouse?
The name means little to me, unfortunately. I've never heard of it until you said it.
I also concur with that. I haven't
Her
heard
name
it.
is unknown to me as well.
No worries. I just thought that maybe you guys might have heard it here and there. Anyways, on to my second question then. Do any of you have any information on the one they call Magnus Darkshield?
I am new to these lands. I do not have any information. I'm sure we can find information. We are in the Northlands.
Yeah. There's
What
quite a bit of information on Magnus Darkshield. But I know him as the individual who brought forth Hrothgar with his little clan, I guess.
His clan isn't very little, seeing as he is the leader of the Warlords Alliance.
Yeah. But once they were, when they brought forth the Primal Deities onto this plane.
This is true, yes. Anyways, just thought I would ask.
Something
Not
tells me
much
about this
information.
magical bread is going to be dipped in water.
All I know of Magnus is he is the equivalent of a queen of a hive. Just it's a hive of the whole north. At least that's what I've been told. Not someone to mess with willingly.
Well, not much information reaches up to the Southern Pines, but there may have been a commotion. That happened?
And you didn't think to tell me of this, Stag?
Well, didn't seem like something you'd involve yourself in.
It involves the
Certainly.
Pines, it involves us all.
It involves Magnus Darkshield.
So it didn't happen in the Pines then?
No.
Okay, then yes, I don't care all that much. And she'll take a sip of her water.
Exactly.
What is this commotion you speak of, Stag?
I'm not sure how well I remember it. I heard it in passing as I passed by the town, but I believe that there was an attempt on his life. An assassin of sorts.
Really? You don't happen to know the assassin's name by any chance, would you?
I only heard bits and pieces.
Fair enough.
I don't stay near civilization enough.
Fair enough. Well, I thank you for letting me know this. But very interesting indeed. Torgrim would down the entire second drink after he says that.
Yeah, it's just a shot.
Pretty good. It burns the belly.
Well, I don't know if you guys noticed much while we were out there, but there was a period of time when you all got to enjoy talking to each other in a different language. I was able to keep up with it a little bit. It's very similar to my own native language, but I was wondering if any of you would be interested in teaching me a little bit more of the language of the North, the Snarn.
In
Well,
Larn,
seeing as
sorry.
I am originally from the Royal College, teaching is sort of a part of that culture. I can certainly give you lessons if you so desire.
Would be much appreciated. I feel very left out in these conversations, and sometimes I just want to jump in and help.
'Tis oft good to learn the language of where one travels.
Yes, I wonder how long I'll stay in these lands, but it seems with everything that we've uncovered, it's maybe a while I stay here and I have nothing really better to do.
The orc is listening to you guys and like kind of looking over his shoulder at you.
My back is to him, so I don't notice.
Is he being very noticeable about it?
Yeah, he's not very stealthy. He's almost like more not intimidating or anything, but like he's kind of intrigued by what the two of you are talking about.
Well, Gustradh, if you ever need to learn anything about languages, I've been raised to speak many of them. Being a Kichthaka means I need to be able to help those that I can.
Do you perchance have any history or any knowledge of the Tunjan, which is the ancient Minotaur language?
I speak it a little. It's still hard to get it to roll off the tongue, but I know the basics.
I was raised in a Minotaur city, so I have quite a bit of knowledge of that language. It's glad to see that someone outside the Minotaur community has kept that tradition going.
I thought that those were the Minotaurs of the North, but you weren't born here.
No, but I have family from here.
What isle are they from? I imagine they're not near the Southern Pines, are they?
They are not. I will find what isle they're from. Give me 1 second.
You will decide what
I will decide what isle they're from.
York moves and sits there.
Is there something you need of us?
You know many language.
I know my share.
He points at the notice board. I need multilinguist. Poppy died. Can you read this for me?
Suppose it's worth a shot.
With this many of us, surely one of us can.
I'll buy you all round for troubles.
I don't think a round of water would be all that worthwhile for me. Do you by chance know anyone? Do you have any information you could share?
Only what's I can't read on this map.
Well, I feel like me reading the map would not require me to need to know what you know of it. Have you heard of the Rendfang clan before? Do you know anything of them?
No.
How long have you been in this town?
Did he hand us the map?
Nope, not yet. My whole life.
Do you know anyone who might know of different clans of the North?
I know of 5 clans.
Sure. What are those clans?
Rook Shadow Clan.
Okay, that little obvious, but I suppose that will work. The others?
Wolfheart Clan. Stonefist Clan.
Wolf. Well, friend, I suppose we can take a look at that map of yours.
Yes.
See
Thank
if we
you.
can help.
He hands you the map.
The Stone Fist Clan. Oh, that's one of the
I'll
latter.
put it out on the table.
Never
and
mind.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, we literally just walked
Well-
past their clan.
I wonder what the other two are.
Snow Elf and Jotunborn Clan.
Yeah. Can any of us read the map?
Alright, so as he hands you the map is written in me. The map is written in River Court, language of the Fae. And you would also be able to pick up on the map pretty easily that it's the Grandwood. You can see Bodoma's Tier Lake and you can see the Grandwood Forest. It speaks of there is a lair of a great beast in the Grandwood, and it shows its exact location on this map. It says that the great beast is believed to have collected a fortune. He looks at you like with wide eyes, just wondering what you're reading. You can lie
I'll
to him
read.
or whatever you want to do.
I'll read exactly what it says to him.
Can I try to read it as well? With a different dialect of it.
If you want to.
What would I need to understand the river court from what I have?
Roll a intelligence check.
Intelligence, okay.
An 11. You pick up bits of the information too. It's pretty obvious that it's like a treasure map of sorts. And you're able to pick out that it's in the Grand Wood and that there's some sort of creature and its layers nearby.
Alright.
Pappy was a monster hunter. Good news.
Explain the map. I will attempt to commit that location to memory, to sketch in my notebook, and then hand him back his map.
And we can get the reference that Pappy is his father, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Does he look like a monster hunter as well?
He looks like a very big dumb barbarian. He walks past Gustradh a little slow and kind of...
Do you need any help with that monster?
You want to help slay a monster? Nice.
I just see that you are very determined, and it does not look like you have a crew with you.
He shows you his hand, and you can see his hand's all sliced up. Got bad paper cut. Make a notice board. Mission.
That's where the blood came from.
You want to
Do we
sail
want
with
it?
Gris to help kill giant beast?
Just to clarify, this is in the Grand Wood? I can't read the map, but the locale
Yes, it is.
is familiar.
There is the great beast that you speak of in Grandwood is Fangir, the great serpent. I hear there are vast rewards there. Those who can defeat it.
I'll sell you map. Gris do not want to fight giant serpent.
What do you want in return for the map?
This many. And he holds up 5, or he holds up 10.
I take out 10 copper.
Make a deception check.
I would I would bring out 10 silver instead. I would not do 10 copper, but I will make a deception.
Okay.
Oof.
You would have gotten
Ooh.
away with it too.
That's lots of coin. He holds out his hands. Take your coin.
All right, I'll take 1 more gold.
And he gives you the map. And he like skips back to his table, very happy.
I feel so bad.
Norgren, stew, please.
At least he's not dead.
Jonan, did you commit the map to memory?
I mean, I would have attempted to.
Oh yeah.
But now we don't have to find a dead body when we go there.
Tis
If
a
anything,
mercy, I suppose.
if anything, this makes it easier. I needed to go to the Grand Wood anyway.
If you go there, it's a big dungeon crawl. You guys want to do that?
Why do you need to go to the Grand Wood?
For personal reasons.
Oh yes, personal reasons. Bring something up, then say you can't talk about it. That's how everyone acts, right?
not all of us. It seems to be just Stag and myself.
Yeah, this is a two-way road, not a one-way road.
I don't know what that is, but I imagine one way would just be as good as two, would it not?
Would you like 10 silver for your secrets as well?
I have no need for coin.
Then what do you need?
To eventually get to the Grand Woods.
All right.
If you get me there, then perhaps we can talk about it.
Do we have to sail there?
I'm not going to swim.
Well, let's figure out this thing with the daughter first. Seems like everyone has their hand out asking for help. This seems to be the priority. At least in my eyes.
Is it priority or goal?
Seeing as we're already here, I suppose it would make sense to focus on that. Maybe the Jarl will give us a boat if we fix the daughter, one way or the other.
I mean, you already said you wanted to kill her, so...
I have said that in the past. That is true. But if we want to stay on his good side, perhaps keeping the child alive just a little bit longer to get what we need, then after that, Runa can do what she wants with her life.
The visible shock in Torgrim's face right now.
Opinions can change. Not one that I wanted to change, but one that had to.
Have we gotten the food yet?
Oh yeah, it's been delivered.
Okay. All right.
Whatever you guys want to take your long rest to, just yell at me. But you can talk as long as you want.
Gustradh will be eating the food.
It is very good. Probably the best meal you've had in quite some time. Zolta is a master chef.
I don't know if it's customary for where you are come from, but I think it's always nice to buy something for the table. Go ahead and dig in. The platter. The sausage platter, right?
Yep.
I can't remember.
Sausage and cheese.
Sausage and cheese.
Yeah,
I'll
rip into that.
Yeah, I'll try a piece. I'll stab into one of the sausages with my claw, with my fanged. Well, that's not fang. That's for a mouth. A clawed finger, and I'll eat it.
Very well made.
I think I've ever seen something so... Well, I don't even know.
Unnecessary, filled with flavor. It's very rich.
Why don't you try some? Stat? You might like it.
Well, I don't need to.
I mean, you don't need to, but you can still try it.
Is that even something you can do?
It is something I can do. I just haven't for a long time.
Well, it's there if you need it. I'd love to hear your feedback on it.
You didn't even make it.
I didn't, but I'm just interested to see what she thinks of it. Well, anything else
Someday
you would like?
you can convince me.
Hmm?
I said perhaps someday you can convince me.
Yep, someday.
Today is not the day.
Well, most of us seem to be quite beaten up. perhaps a rest might be in order, unless there's something else we wish to talk about before we head out for the night.
Yes, I'd like to take a nice warm bath. We've been traveling and then traveling even more. I think it would be nice just to lay in a warm, soft bed tonight.
I'll agree with that. A bath would be nice.
And he'll hail down an origin. Say, how much for a bath and a room for tonight?
I believe the Jarl mentioned something about these, and the rooms would at least be on him.
You show Norgin your insignias from the Jarl.
I mean, I'll pull out mine.
Oh, a
Mine's-
room free of charge for you, sir.
And a bath?
Of course. We only have one tub, so you'll just have to take turns.
We can share. It's fine.
You can do that as well if you wish.
They've already seen everything I have to offer. I'm not scared to share.
You can fit maybe two at once in there. Get a little snug, but hey. I know time spent
Even
on the
with
road
Corbin.
really makes you bond together.
Maybe Sean and you can teach me some Narn.
Done it in a bathtub, teacher.
Bubble bath.
How do you say sexy in Narn? So you guys take a long rest, get baths, and sleep here at the end?
God.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Alright, so we do a long rest. Give yourselves a long rest. We'll take a quick 5-minute break. And we'll come back with part 2 of this episode. Enjoy your bath, fellas.
Oh, I'm excited.
We'll be right back, chat. We'll see you in 5 minutes. See you soon. Discord man. What the fuck? We unmute you guys in the party. Let's wait for everyone to get back and we'll keep on going.
I'm only taking half this rest because I'm an elf. I got other plans.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is it bathtub plans?
It's to steal all
No.
from us.
You want me to do like a... What's up, Prophet? Do like while they're sleeping, you on a little venture for 4 hours? You want to do something like that?
Yeah.
Do that. If everyone to get going. Everyone ready for part 2?
I don't remember how to whisper you.
Let's do it. Gotta burn that advantage. Oh, I always mess up the... There we go. I always mess up the
Doing
cams
what,
when we go.
Prophet? Doing what?
Tricking Grist. So, you all get your bass and you lay down. Oh, you like that new intro, Cabal? Yeah, buddy. Y'all get your bass, your warm bass, lay down for the night. Jonin, as an elf, sleeps for the 4 hours to get his long rest. But before everyone goes, I am going to have all of you level up now. Everybody's going to hit level 3. And you can roll your hit dice if you'd like to, or take the average. I thought it'd be cool to do it on stream so everyone can see how they do with their hit dice rolls.
Till will be taking the average because I am very bad with dice luck.
Okay.
Fighters?
I know I'm gonna eat my words, but I am a god at rolling hit dice.
Here comes the 2. A 4 is
So I got
respectable.
Not much better.
8 HP from that.
I'll do it this one time for the entertainment of chat. I'll
Ooh,
do it
Ghostface
every
with the
time.
11. Nice. He's doing it every time now.
Oh,
If only. If only.
oh, an actual bad roll. No.
Dang, you guys both rolled Nate.
It's fine, Raz. We match.
Oof.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
the
man.
2. Oh,
That average is feeling real
Oh.
good right now.
Squishy party life.
Gotta
Let's
clip-
go.
they
Oh,
clipped
yeah.
that 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, reroll 2s, right? That's the rule.
Come on, Revert. You know better. You roll a 1 if you're gonna roll that low.
I know, right?
You know the rules.
Yeah, isn't the rule like you reroll anything that's under the average of your dice?
Nope, just reroll ones.
No, only
too
just
bad.
one.
So while the 4 of you are sleeping, Shannon's going to explore the town. As he does, make sure on your sheets too to jump up your class to level 3, or whatever you're doing.
You know, just in case you get in a fight.
Shannon, what would you like to do?
Well, first, before I leave, I'm going to write a note on some, like, either in my notebook and, like, rip it off and wrap it around one of the scales. He mentioned I could send ravens out of the Temple of Desolation.
Let me show you the map.
So I'll cast my disguise self and make myself seem more Salian, and put my armband into like a pocket or something.
Okay.
And I will head out to the Temple of Desolation.
To make your way there, you'll pass by the Jotunborn clan, the Stonefist clan. You'll get to the Walk of Remembrance, which is the half-mile walk across the frigid ice. Now, when you get to the Walk of Remembrance, we'll see. So as you get to this long bridge, the waves pass below this dilapidated bridge, and this cold wind is battering your face. To cross this bridge, you know it's not going to be a very kind one. You have to be very, very careful as you do. You don't slip and fall into the waters below. And you can see that the elements here have really weathered this bridge. Now, as you start to cross over, you hear a screech from above you, and you can see there is a pack of peritons, which are not attacking you, but they're circling you from above. They can sense that you're not an easy target, but they are giving you a look over to see what a periton looks like. They're these bizarre creatures which have the body and the wings of a carrion bird with the head of a stag. And as they float above you, and as you're crossing this bridge, the strangest thing is that the shadow falling from the periton on the waters isn't of bird shape, but it's of a human shape, which kind of gives you pause. And then you finish hustling across to the Temple of Desolation. As you get to the temple, there's torches that are burning within the chapel. It's a very simple chapel with a clergy's office. But what you are looking for, and what you focus on, is there's a flock collar. And she looks like this. You see Flock Collar Vesper, and as you make your way towards the station where they send out the messages with the ravens, she wears a hooded ornamental attire. She has the mantle of feathers that sits around her neck. Around her are several ravens, messengers. They've all assembled. All these ravens are very chatty. They have low gargles and they make brash squawks. And then this very large, heavy raven lands on the flock collar's forearm, and you can see that as it lands, the flock collar Vesper is holding a quill, and the raven's going to grab the quill from her, and she's going to hold up parchment, and you watch the raven write a message on this parchment with its claw. And then the raven finishes. The raven drops the quill back into the flock collar's hand, and at its completion, the raven starts to bob its head and squawk excitedly, and then all the other ravens, the murder ravens, all start to fly back to their cage. As they all fly away, she turns to you and smiles, and she rolls up the parchment, puts it in her pocket. How can I be of service to you?
It is an interesting trick your raven is able to do. Not ever seen one capable of writing.
We find it much more discreet to use a raven to deliver messages by intellect, by memory, instead of having to write something that can be taken by someone else.
Would they still be able to carry something small over a long distance, even without the message?
Of course.
In hand? Well, would you be able to deliver something to the Royal College for me?
Looks to you a little cross. Why would you want to speak to the college?
Well, 'tis unfortunate that I hail and have spent much time there.
You wish to speak to your old professor?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my father.
I see.
And unfortunately, he's not quite a headmaster, but respected as one.
This could be arranged. The cost is 2 gold pieces.
That's easily doable. I'll hand her the scale, or one of the scales, and in 2 gold pieces, and also the message that I will send to you later.
She looks at the scales. Her eyes narrow a bit, and then she looks over at you. Well, no questions asked, but it's highly irregular.
That is the problem. A problem that needs answers.
Take some time for the message to be delivered to the Royal College, but rest assured, my ravens do not falter.
I appreciate that.
You see her pocket the gold. She holds out her arm, and that same bird, the very large raven, lands on her forearm again. She ties the message to his ankle. She puts this small little, almost like a backpack around the bird, and she puts the scale inside of it. And the bird squawks and shoots off the air. As it goes up, Some of the smaller ravens kind of float alongside it and glide with it for a second, almost in like a means of protection, and then it glides over the frozen waters and out of sight.
Okay. With that, I will take a look around just to kind of take in what this temple is. I'm assuming it's to the Matron of Ravens.
Yep, so it's a very, very simple chapel and church compared to what you've used to seeing. Looks like it's only 2 rooms, completely made of wood. There is an extensive graveyard surrounding it, much bigger than the graveyards you're used to seeing. And then there's this huge mountain range that sits off about 400 feet behind the graveyard. You can see a very large opening into the mountain that has 2 double doors about 12 feet high that are closed. And there's a big locking mechanism, like a big bar that sits down in front of the door.
So he'll pull out his notebook, take a couple notes on all of that, and then I will start to head back.
She gives you a farewell, kind of like half wave. Then you see her make her way back inside the chapel. And as you begin to cross back over that windy, cold bridge to make your way into Vartungard, those Peritons start to get a little braver. They get a little closer to you. They stay about 100 feet away, but they slowly swoop down, and you can see that they're inspecting you.
Do I see the one that looked like it may have had something writing it?
So they're not being ridden by anything, but their shadow looks humanoid. Like the shadow that it casts, it's not a bird shadow, it's like a humanoid shadow.
Okay, and is that more apparent as they get closer?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm definitely going to be giving them like a very stern look, as well, not a stern look, but I'm going to look at them so that they know that I am very aware of what they are, or, well, that they're there at least. I'll keep going.
You make your way back into Vartungard. You pass the Stonefist clan. Are you heading back to the inn, or do you want to go anywhere else?
I will kind of take a slow loop through the Stonefist and the Jotunborn, and I'm gonna head over to the Snow Elf clan. Okay.
So as you pass the first 2 clans, passing the Stonefist clan, you can see the unmistakable insignia of the Stormclaw, Udgir, and his 2 broken claws. And you would know that it's not unheard of for clans to worship other primal deities compared to the clan that they like give their allegiance to. But it's not common. Oh, thanks for the follow. But the tribe and the chieftain of this Stonefist clan look happy. The chieftain is battle scarred. He's an older Salian. He's the epitome of an old warrior with dark ridges of field-mended wounds that cover his legs and his arms. He has nicks across his face. And he wears animal furs and has a halberd made from the tusk of a mammoth. And as you pass the Stonefist clan, give you a nod and don't think much of it. You pass the Jotunborn clan, a much smaller clan by population only, as these are Aqua Nalvaldi. These are elemental giants with seafoam green skin and bright blue eyes that stand 9 feet tall. And they sit around the fire drinking, boasting about their abilities to swim in frigid waters as you pass. And as you pass, they make a funny comment about how your pale, frostbitten flesh couldn't handle the waters like they do, and they laugh. And then you approach.
I pay them no mind.
You approach the
just listening.
Snow Elf clan comes into view. Now their banners are super extravagant, like we said before. You can definitely tell that this is an emissary, and one of the Snow Elves sticks out compared to the rest. You can see the unmistakable look of the ambassador of the Snow Elf clan. As you approach, the Snow Elves are very much they're more calm, they're more in unison. They don't sit around the fires drinking, they kind of stay in their respectable housing. But the emissary is going to walk out as you approach. He gives you a slight bow.
I will drop my disguised self so I look actually like an elf.
Ah. Greetings, my friend.
Greetings.
I am Emissary Wistari Zilkan at your service. Now that he's approaching, you get a better look at him. He's pale white skin, silver hair, has it long and braided, crawled up into a dark blue band. His cloak and his armor are in excellent condition, but the thing that sticks out to you is his warhammer. So his warhammer that he's holding is fashioned much different than humans. The stout of the hammer, like the part where you would hit someone with, is an enormous crystal. It almost looks like an arcane focus, and it's engraved and sharpened at the tips. And as he moves it around, the light catches this special warhammer made of crystal, and it like gives this little rainbow dazzly display in the snow in front of you. Very expensive.
It looks like a weapon of a spellbinder, if I'm not mistaken. I am Shannon Anwar, I'll introduce myself, of the Royal College.
Well, Shannon, what brings you to Vartungard, this far north of the college?
Well, as oft is the fate of most academics of the Royal College, pursuit of knowledge, information.
What would you like to know?
Well, merely taking in the sights today, but my primary concern is that of the dealings of Hrothgar in these lands. Perhaps the Willow's shadow means anything to you?
Yes, I've heard the tales. I also can feel the presence of Hrothgar. Since Magnus Darkshield has taken the throne and released the beast from the trance, Primal Deity has his fires rage and consume the Northlands.
Well, 'tis not necessarily a terrible thing, but 'tis a thing that could be concerning down the line.
Our Jarl Eobar the Ancient has made an uneasy alliance with the Darkshields. Even though they are the warlord, he is the warlord, we found it best to keep aggression at arm's length. It only made sense to form some sort of alliance with the second largest clan, Rook Shadow. Mainly for our safety, just in case the Darkshields stray a little too far down the path of righteous anger.
As oft those who follow in the wolf's path often do.
It is concerning, something to unfortunately need to keep an eye on.
'Tis my purpose. At least for the moment. I'm certain I will have more questions for you, and perhaps answers, if you so desire.
Would you be interested in helping provide information on what you find to the Snow Elf clan?
I suppose some sort of arrangement can be made. And if it is information, well, I excel at that. Would be no problem.
You undoubtedly know that the Snow Elves, we never take without giving, so whatever you can provide will be well paid for in gold or whatever else you might find yourself in need of.
Well, information and knowledge, and especially in unfamiliar territory, is of more value to me. I will keep you in mind. I'm certain I will be able to provide something to you.
He gives you a slight bow. Well, maybe you'll find your ways north to Sire Pine Aves and Valsier, and you can speak with the Ancient One himself.
I may do exactly that. I'll bow to him. And then I'll wave my hand over my face and cast my disguised self. Make myself more salient, and How much time do I have for the remainder of what would be their long rest?
About a half hour.
I will head back to the inn then.
Okay. Crossing the bridge is a hefty toll. Right. So as the rest of you start to rise and wake up, you'll come out of your rooms. If you want to talk about anything before, or if there's any way that you want to like divvy yourselves up in the rooms to talk.
I will stay downstairs and order breakfast for everybody.
Okay.
Till would want to bunk with Stag.
Torgrim would bunk with whoever.
There you go.
Yep.
As the four of you start to wake up, rise from your sleep, your long rest, whatever you all like to do.
And Gustradh will stretch out the aches of the days before and the long travel. Massage any sort of muscles that might be tense. Just look at Torvin and say, how you feeling after those hag drinks? Those hag shots?
Pretty good. They were not the best drinks I've had, but they were delicious nonetheless. But yeah, I feel fine.
And the bath? Treated you well?
Yes, definitely did.
I'm sure Till will have something else to complain about, but there's only so much you can do.
This is true, yes. I drink a lot, so I'm used to not feeling terrible in the morning after.
Is that how you lost your sister?
You mean my daughter?
Your daughter? Yeah, that one.
No.
Got drug electric Chuck E. Cheese.
We parted ways for a while, and we were doing regular check-ins, and then she stopped doing check-ins, and now I don't know where she is. Last I heard, she was in this area, but no one seems to have heard of her as of yet.
How old is she?
She's
An adult?
right?
An adult? A child?
An adult, yeah.
Okay.
It's been
Give us
so
her
long.
backstory.
It's been so long, I don't
Where are
know how old
Gustrahd's
it is.
family from? How old is your daughter?
Who is your daughter and what does she do?
What color is her beard?
Well, she doesn't have a beard. She got brown hair though. No, she's a. Torgrim doesn't remember her exact age because of his drinking, but he knows she's around the age of 60 somewhere.
It's surprising that the Jarl doesn't know about her, even though she is from this area. Do you know if she was a part of any sort of minor clan? Seems like there were quite a few minor clans in this area.
She used to be part of the Sunderwolves with me when I was with them, but we have since moved on from there. But I know she was in this area. Not sure what she was doing, but I just want to make sure she's safe and nothing bad has happened to her.
Hopefully we can find her.
Thank you. I hope so as well. We got some things to take care of.
Yes, it seems like those tasks are mounting up by the day.
They
It almost seems like we have to help run the city.
Yes, it does seem that way, but hopefully we can get information that we both want and maybe even some riches out of it.
You want to try out that new axe? I saw there was a tree out back. Maybe we could do a little target practice.
Sure. Or we could do it on our travels.
Yeah, we could do that. Sure. But you don't want to be in the middle of a fight and not ever throw your axe before. Not know how it turns. how hard you have to throw it.
This is fair. Maybe we will later today. Let's see how the day goes and.
What deity do you follow?
I follow Odger. I know I never say that correctly.
It's odd that the follower of Odgir would not be up for a challenge. I thought most of their followers would be willing to take up that challenge.
It's not to say that I'm not up for a challenge, just that we have many things to get done today.
That's fair. Well, let's see what the others are up to. See if they've woken up yet, or if we're the early risers.
Yes, let's check out. And maybe we'll have an axe throwing competition sometime soon to see how well you are versed in it as well.
I would be interested in that.
Ooh.
Right. At that, Torgrim would get out of bed and start putting his armor on, and then go down to, with Gustradh, down to the eating area.
You got it? See Shannon sitting there. Only
Scribbling in his
Shannon's in the
journal.
inn.
You still have your disguise up?
Yeah.
The real question is, do they know it's Shannon?
Well, I look the same, mostly. It's just I remove the elf features.
We've seen Shannon in both forms
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
So essentially my ears just get a little longer. Otherwise.
Well, Silent Stag, what do you think of our new companions, if you'd call them that?
Well, I can simply say is they are...
You're free to be
Very much-
honest with me. I won't judge you.
They're very harsh when it comes to certain things.
I feel like between the weather and being so close to humans, that's bound to happen. While they're talking, Till's gonna walk over to the desk in the bottom corner of the room, and underneath it she's gonna pick up the package that she left there when she went to bed. She'll rewrap it and make sure it's secure. She attaches it to herself on her torso, getting ready for the day.
You got it?
Do you have any plans that you want to do?
Well... Well, we were walking to the tavern and it seemed to be an interesting looking thing that I would like to look at.
You talking about the tree?
Yes, I'm talking about the tree.
I was thinking that we should visit that as well. After that vision, I think trees might be important enough to pay attention to.
I am wounded, truly.
You're not a tree. You have legs. You're important, just not as important as trees with faces. Apparently. At least that's what our visions say.
Am I not a tree with a face?
You're an Alatin. That's different.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Either way, I think checking the trio out makes sense. But I'd like to hit the market and possibly some of those clans as well.
Yes, I'm curious as to, with this in Vartungard, there seems to be a predominant worship of the Matron of Ravens.
I
curious to see
don't know what that is. I don't know why they like birds so much, but perhaps we can get some answers if we follow Gustradh.
It's of a deity.
I have not heard of them, so they can't be that important, I assure you.
Well, if anything you haven't heard about is not important, then a lot of the world is not important then.
I'm glad that you see it as I do. Either way, we should check that tree out, and we should definitely see if anyone in the town knows more about that Rendfang clan.
Yes. I would like to know the deities of the other clans as well.
It might be beneficial to know of them. We might be able to use that knowledge to do what we need to do.
We will see.
Yeah, and at that, Till will head down to the main room.
Walk in, you see Shannon sitting there with Gustradh and Torgrim. You can smell
Gustradh
the
would probably
stew.
be asking Shannon about sentence structure, about Narn, from his teachings last night.
Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Or do you want me to jump you out to the city?
Yeah, we can.
How about
To the city.
city?
Welcome to the city.
So the five of you step out. It is now the 7th of Narwin. There's a slight snowfall that's starting to cover the ground. Nothing too extravagant, but just enough to give you that nice showering effect. Where would you like to go?
Till would like to go to the market to try and trade some of her stuff for things that'll be more useful to her, as well as get information possibly of that clan.
Okay.
I think it is prudent of us to ask the two Matron of Raven congregations about their differences in opinion on the approach to the wife and daughter of the Jarl. Beyond that, I don't have any other peaks of interests at the moment.
Well, I would like to hit the market first. The best trades can be done in the morning before anyone else is there, but after that, I'm more than welcome, more than happy to meet you at the Ravens temples.
Looks like it's on our way over there. I don't see why we can't all stop
it would
there.
be good to not disclose any information about the wife and daughter.
To who?
But we,
I agree with that.
I believe the Jarl said that both leaders of the temples know already, and have very differing opinions on the matter.
we don't know who knows what information. I think it would be good to at least, if we are to gather an opinion before we take action. As far as they're aware, it could be just the Renfang that we found outside of the city. And if they know better, then they know better.
I feel like withholding information will give us withheld answers, but it's a very human way of thinking of things. Perhaps that is what we can do.
I think Shannon has a point about asking questions with a wide brush and allowing the answers to come to us. If we narrow our question, we will get a narrow answer.
Yes, little Golganthe, information, at least in this world, is the most powerful thing that you can wield. The more you can get and the less that you can give. When it comes to situations like this, well, it could be between life and death.
Well, you know more about humans than I do, so I will take your lead in that.
Order of the Lark strikes again. All right. Which way you want to go first?
Yeah, it's out of the way technically, but yeah, we can go to the market first.
You will go south to the marketplace. You got it? So unlike many cities that a lot of you have been in, some of you haven't, usually when you go to different districts in a city, you can see wealth discrepancies, like lots of disparities. Here, all the homes look pretty much the same. There is no big extravagant homes to like more poor homes. Everything is pretty even keel. All you do is you cross a bridge and there's just more houses, but there is a central bonfire. You can see different carts and different shops are set up around the area. Now this is a small city, so if you're looking for certain things, you can find anything that's on the mundane equipment list up to 150 gold. There's only one magic shop which is in the area, and as you walk by you can see the name of the magic shop pretty prominently. It's also the same one that was on the board. It is the Isarog's Wondrous Emporium. And then there's a very large shipwright, and you can see dozens and dozens of long ships being made, and you can hear the grunts and the cuts of wood coming from your north.
Okay, yeah. Shopping super simple. Till wants to trade out her shield for a targ and use the gold difference as a haggling tool to find out any information about local clans or the I forgot their name even though I know their name.
You look for a red fang?
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know how I forgot that. I literally said it 5 minutes ago. But yeah, between those clans and them.
Yeah, so it's super easy to make the transition to a new shield. Sell one and use the coin to get another one. Asking a couple of the merchants around the area about Ren Fang, they all look a little confused. And they're not sure about any sort of clan under that name. Most of them seem almost dumbfounded like the orc in the end. And they only know of the major 7, Jotunborn and Stonefist.
Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to do at the market, so I'm cool with following the group.
And we didn't inquire. No one inquired about the obsidian figurine, right?
No one has yet, no.
I think that guy was just off his rocker, but that's just Torgrim.
Do you have
Just to
the only so in the marketplace it's pretty much just like standard stuff. Unless you wanna go to like the shipwright or the magic shop, those would be the two like main focal points of the area. Unless you wanna, and then also unless you go outside and you go towards the stone.
So there's no like trinkets or like almost looking like a black market dealer in the market. I would assume not.
Just because the city's too small.
Okay. I would just ask a random vendor at a stall and just say, I heard word that there was maybe an obsidian figurine that was traded a couple times in market. Have you heard anything of such?
He looks at you, a little fearful. You don't want to be hunting for that figurine, friend. It'll lead to your death and your downfall.
Well, that's why I'm asking, so I don't go to my death. I'm just interested in how I can avoid that, but if there's some sort of figurine out there, I want to make sure I don't run into it.
It's shaped like a bear. Black, about the size of your hand. It's true, it's made its way around the market.
Have you seen it with your own eyes?
No, just heard the tales.
I inspect him. Does he have 2 eyes?
He does.
So are we at Grizzog's or is this just some random merchant?
Like
Yeah.
random merchant.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, if we're going to inquire about that, we might be able to find something at the magic shop. The Wondrous Emporium, I think it was called.
that makes sense. What reputation does this Wondrous Emporium have? I mean, someone in your trade must know.
He's a swindler and a thief.
Why do you say that?
Spend 2 minutes with them and you'll understand.
So he must not get much business then.
Unfortunately, he gets all the business. He's a monopoly of magic items.
Ah, so there is hard feelings about being undercut.
He likes to say he deals with magic items and information. But you should not trust a word that leaves his mouth or his pen.
How many eyes does he have?
2?
Why are you so focused on everyone's eyes?
I heard this was something of the Southern Pines.
That would be correct. So perhaps Vartungard would not have what we're seeking.
You are a very confusing folk. Fine, I will stick to my ways. Thank you for your information, sir. I'm sorry for the confusion.
Stay away from the statue, friend.
The statue of the Jarl?
The
In the middle of the city?
The obsidian statue.
Oh.
I might have missed this, but how big is the statue?
About the size of our hand. And he holds out a big old hand.
Your old Minotaur hand.
Yeah.
That is a large statue.
Well, I appreciate all the information you have provided us. Shall we get going?
Should we see what the swindler has to offer?
I mean, we'll definitely be looking into his wares. A party such as us may benefit from some sort of magic items, but I don't think we really have the gold for it. Do we really need to put off figuring out about the Jarl's daughter and wife much longer? I say that in a lowered voice to the party.
I'm sorry, you spoke too quietly. I couldn't catch everything there.
So you guys need someone to trust with one eye and a somewhat soft voice. I am very confused by this. Let's just ignore what I had to say and just let's go to...
I'll cast Disguise Self to remove one eye.
I don't think that's quite how it works. I think the one that Stag is looking for will be quite known when we see them. But you wanted to see the temples, was it?
I think it to be important to see what they have to say. It is, after all, something that the leader of this village is very interested in solving.
Well, from my understanding, there's one in the city, so let us check that one first.
Yes, let's go to the Dead Tongue.
The Cedar of the Dead Tongue.
Cedar.
So you guys want to go?
Yeah.
Be the dead tongue.
And just for reference, they were... Well, we'll learn about it. Okay.
Oh yeah, so... A little music change. Alright. So you approach the City of the Dead Tongue in the northeast corner of Vartungard. This temple exists as a wooden building built onto part of the mountain and surrounded by wooden fencing. As you approach, you step into the courtyard here, and there is a small wooden building has a series of heavy furs and curtains which cover the entryway. Before you enter, you are stopped by a shaman wearing heavy furs and like a raven's beak over her mouth. You that can see in darkness, you must wear these. She holds out blindfolds for everyone that has dark vision.
How does she know if we have dark vision?
She knows you're a dwarf.
Fair enough.
The only one she wouldn't know is Shannon, because he's disguised, if he's still disguised as a human.
Yep, always.
She would assume you and Gustradh can't see, and that the other three would need blindfolds. She would hand blindfolds to the three of you.
Very well. If I hear a single sound that is not normal, I will be taking this off. I'll have you know that now.
To understand Iana, one must experience the world without light and embrace solitude. In the totality of blindness, we worship the matron only through our other senses.
Have you done this before, Gustradh?
I have yet to come across a village or a city that has a designated facility worshipping Iana. So this is all new to me, and I'm very interested to see what they have.
You worship the same gods but have different tenets.
Not necessarily the different tenets. The followers of the matron are scattered all throughout the land. There's not necessarily a single church. It's a little bit loose in the interpretation. That is why I'm so interested in coming to a place like this where they dedicate their whole life and their society to the matron. Surely, if there are answers to some of my questions, this will be the place.
Well, I can assure you, all who believe in the Life Giver believe the same. But like I said, if something happens to me or Stag, this will be on you. And she'll cover herself with the blindfold.
No, this will be on the matron.
Well, the matron's new to me, at least until I met you, so it's still on you.
Have you met the Life Giver?
Only in passing. Once.
Well, hopefully today you will meet the mother. And you will give yourself to her.
The follower of this matron.
She pulls back the furs as you guys put the blindfolds on, and you can see that it's just a pitch black room. Shannon, you would see there are multiple shamans in the room, all sitting in various areas meditating. Some are walking around as if they are hallucinating and seeing stuff. But it's pitch black. You'd be the only person that would be able to see as everyone steps in. And you step in. You start to hear the sounds of the other shaman around you. They're encouraging whispers. Some of them are suffering, having difficulties adjusting to just the overwhelming senses that they are dealing with after being in this room for a long period of time. You see a couple of them trip and fall around the room and cry out in pain. And you can hear the occasional squawks of ravens in the rafters above. And Shannon, you can look up and you can see there are ravens sitting perched and just looking down at the satyr that are walking around. Been about 5 minutes in this room. Everyone except for Shannon, give me a intelligence saving throw.
Oh, okay.
Anyone want to use their advantage on this roll?
If 14's not enough, I will be yes.
14's not.
Then I would like to use my advantage.
That's how you want to use yours?
Yes. 15 enough?
Everyone passes but Torgrim.
Okay.
Torgrim's not a very smart person, so makes sense.
Too smooth of a brain, I get it.
I suggest that you empty all feelings, even fear.
I thought you haven't done this before.
I haven't.
Torgrim, cry out in some sort of anguish. Give me like 3 words of a nightmare that Torgrim would have. You have to go like a full sentence, but you could say like 3 like words that would vaguely resemble your nightmare.
His daughter dying.
Of all of you around Torgrim, you can hear him say, cries out like he's having a vision about his daughter.
Torgrim, hear my voice. You need to empty yourself. All emotion. Give it away.
While Torgrim's attempting to listen to Gustrad's words, he's going to take out his greatsword and start swinging blindly.
Okay.
You fucking hit me, dude. We're gonna have a talk about your weapon.
Make 3 attack rolls at disadvantage.
Okay.
I wonder if he's gonna burn any of his advantage on any of these rolls.
Do you want to burn advantage to hit somebody?
No, I'm not gonna burn advantage to anybody.
You swing wildly and barely miss Gustradh, Silent Stag, until you don't feel any connections. Sean, you watch him do this.
I'm gonna, as he's swinging wildly, I will cast Suggestion until and suggest that he calm down.
Or make a wisdom save. Or you can choose to fail.
I will try to save.
Okay.
And it's not working for me though, so one second.
You hear Shannon's words, and you start to slowly just calm your breathing, regain your composure. With that, you hear a voice call out from the opposite side of the room. Follow my voice. We can speak. The Jarl told me of your coming. You can hear from the opposite side of the room.
Yeah, Till's gonna walk towards that voice, assuming nothing is in the way.
Stag will make to reach to take off the blindfold.
Take off the blindfold. You can see the room around you. You can see all the shaman meditating or walking around. You can see your friends walking blindly in the dark. You can see Shannon walking like he knows where he's going. You can see the ravens in the air above, like sitting on the perches above you. You can see what looks to be a woman in garbs of hide. She's garbed in hide, and she has bones with leaves and branches and raven feathers hanging from her like a veil. She's a shaman with very pale skin, but her pale skin seems to reflect away light. And she's motioning for you to come to her. She's standing at her back is to one of the long fur curtains that she's going to step out of. As you walk, she slowly pulls back the curtain. You can see the outside courtyard. Now on the opposite side of this small church, small chapel. She leads the 5 of you outside. You remove your blindfolds. You can see again. You get a better look now at the satyr. This is Satyr Opalina. She holds a long staff of gnarled wood, fashioned into an intricate swirl, or like a Gandalf staff. And as she walks out and leads you into the chill air but sunlight, every step she takes leaves a familiar scent of pine that hangs in the air behind her. She turns and she sits at one of the adjacent campfires. Please, sit. We have much to discuss.
Gustradh will... Yep, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask, when she takes us outside, are we allowed to... Did she mention anything about us being allowed to take off the blindfolds?
Yep.
Okay. Torgrim will take his off.
Yep,
Imagine needing blindfolds.
Having taken mine off, Till will sit next to Stag and Torvin.
Gustradh will respectfully and calmly walk up and sit down.
I know why you're all here. Breaking the curse should have been done long ago. For poor Narina was forced to suffer in hiding. They have searched for a means to break this curse and failed over and over and over. I'm going to implore with you, it is time to do what must be done. No more ideas that only prolong the pain. Runa must be allowed to meet Bodoma the Deliverer, then our matron will guide her on her journey beyond. I trust you all believe too that a child must give her life for the greater good.
What do your teachings say about a child infected by what she has?
She sits back and she says, some believe back when the land was young that Iana, matron of ravens, ate the fallen fruit that fell from Amara's branches out of a lust for power, or maybe out of fear. This is not true. She ate that decomposing fruit because she knows decisive action must be done to protect the tribes. The Rook shadow lacks action. It chooses to prey to those who misinterpret the commandments of the goddess of death, not knowing that death comes for us all, and is only a door to another domain. Decisive action is what it means to follow the matron.
They all said that both churches have provided solutions. What solutions have you provided?
If you truly wish to help Narina, we must convince the Jarl to end his daughter's life with honor. Or they'll take a darker path. We must be concerned with the Jarl's word of this land. If he breaks his honor, his luck will change. And this entire city, his entire bloodline will falter and crumble. I've always said the same.
You've offered that then as the only solution?
At first I only whispered it to the Jarl, but as the years passed, and they failed countless times, my whispers, the whispers of the other Satyr, the whispers of the spirits of past Rook shadows, all ask for the same.
So you can speak with the souls of the dead, waiting for Bodoma's judgment.
Yes.
Why have they not been shut?
Say again?
Said you are delusional.
I have seen where you have come from, young one. The very branches that made you also made the same fruit the matron consumed to save the world. You are tied to her in more ways than you know.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't think death, funnily enough, is the answer for this here.
I do have a question that is outside the conversation that we are having, but is tied a little bit to it. Why are there two different followers of the Matron of Raven in this city? what are the differences between you and the other church that is across the river?
We follow the ways of old. We follow Matron of Ravens, her teachings both before the Great Sacrifice and after she ate the fruit and learned that all undeath must be treated just like Runa, snuffed immediately so that the cycle of life and death can continue. Afraid you'll need to speak with the temple to learn their falsehoods.
I will.
You're a champion of the Matron.
I have been on a pilgrimage, trying to follow her footsteps and teachings. Like you have mentioned, there are all the tenets that she has put forth. But my question to you now is, what do you interpret, or what do you think of Our Lady doing battle with the Fallen One?
I think a deity can make right and wrong decisions, but as long as their decision is decisive and with purpose, that it deserves to be followed.
Is it not considered blasphemous to believe that your deity can make the wrong choice? Whether driven by will or ignorance, it's your deity. You know that it is doing what is right.
When one deals with deities and gods, one has to have faith that their decisions are important and with purpose. Sometimes we have to believe that we might not know everything that they do as they look down upon us from other realms.
What do you know of what ails the Jarl's daughter and wife?
Her soul has been tied to something that I cannot see. It is not of the ethereal plane which binds her. She is shattered. I worry that if she were to die in her state, that her soul would not meet Bodoma.
Both the mother and the child?
Only the mother. I can see the child's soul.
I heard a rumor as I came to this city that there was complications during childbirth, and that is why they went to a witch, like Syl, right? That was the name?
Yep.
To assist with the birthing process. I'm surprised to hear that maybe the child is the one that has a soul. Maybe the complications laid with the wife then. What I heard was there complications with both the child and the mother.
I agree with your deduction of the situation.
But
Your
it's not.
Raven, you claim one needs to die. The child in particular, why? Why shouldn't the mother pass instead?
The child dies, her soul will visit Bodoma. You will have an afterlife like all of us will. If the mother dies before she is cured, I don't think her soul will meet Bodoma walk through the deliverer's doors, and instead we'll just falter to the below.
But if Narina is the one that is causing this plight, should she not be the one struck down instead? Who's to say the child must live and the mother must pass instead?
Because what we do on this world is only partial what we do in the afterlife. And if the daughter dies, they both will have a chance for their spirits to move on.
Then you know that with certainty?
As certain as I can be.
So you're not 100% certain then that Runa's soul is, whatever that is, will be sent to where it must go?
I only hear the shouts of the other Rook shadow in the afterlife as they cry out, calling for Runa. Do what must be done. Let Narina join her daughter once her time is up.
But what if you're wrong? What if killing the daughter doesn't help the mother at all?
But at least we know we made decisive action to protect the clan.
But should we listen to the voices of those who have already passed? Those who have already passed have had their chance to say what they want.
Oh, young Golganthy. The whispers never cease after you pass. Your ancestors call out from the ethereal plane, just as ours do.
But then we would be killing a child for no reason.
Death comes for us all.
Well, if that's
It
the
doesn't
answer,
have-
why don't we kill all of Vartungard and now all of the troubles of the clan are gone? Then we can take any boat we want and we can go to any isle we want.
Say death comes for us all, but it doesn't have to come any sooner.
No?
It'll happen eventually.
But then what of the Renfang? Those of undeath, but not of undeath. Surely even one as devoted to the matron as you would have heard of such things. Such individuals.
Any soul that straddles the line between life and death and does not pass on is worthy of our champion here's blade through the throat. He looks like Gustradh. Champion of the matron, you know what must be done. Anything that comes back to life, regardless if it is undeath or not, must be put down. It breaks the cycle.
Do we even know that the Renfang are coming back from death? All we've seen is them transform. We haven't seen any rise.
You saw them as I did.
Aye, and they looked no different than Narina does now. A bit grayer, perhaps, in tone, but still as scaly as her.
I would like to get to the bottom of it, if I'm being honest. While they did not have the typical markings of an undead, they did have some sort of intellect, some sentience. This is not natural. This is not the way, the cycle of things. Even though they may not be what we truly consider to be undead, it is not, in my mind, what we should allow happen.
Not learn any of substance here.
I do.
Go
ahead.
You know nothing else of the Renfang clan that can help us? A leader, their beliefs, where they could be, who they are, anything?
I do not see their souls in the ethereal plane.
be safe to assume that they're all fiends as well. Whatever they're giving themselves to.
I did not sense any sort of fiend from them. It'd be odd
'Tis
if they were.
curious.
Quite the conundrum.
Is it possible they just don't want to talk to you?
I can force the spirits to bound my will.
Gustradh would definitely be a little suspicious of that comment.
Talking to an
Right.
old school, super religious fanatic.
Zealot.
Yep.
Well,
Would I
I've
know
had
enough
enough
about
here.
the type of magic that she does to feel confident in what she's saying?
Say that again? Sorry.
Would I know enough about like what she is to be confident that she could do that?
Yeah. You would know her as a pretty much like a very strong shaman.
Well, I do appreciate the time that you have provided us and the answers to a lot of our questions. It's been very informative. I'm glad to finally come to a place that is so dedicated to our matron. Does anyone have any additional questions?
Not at this time.
I think it'll be our time to leave at this moment.
He shows you the way out, taking your blindfold from you as you head out back into Vartungard.
Oh yeah, Till left it in the snow. she just walked out through the black room without them.
Well, I think it's best if we go to the other location. It doesn't seem like many of you have the appetite of pursuing what they were offering. I think it is at least in the best interest of this city and this town that we try to exhaust all options.
I think if Runa was to pass, this Vartungard would not last. I think it would fall apart at the seams.
Killing the child would serve nothing. Killing Narina would serve nothing. It's clearly something they're capable of reproducing, though the question of why those two are possessed by a fiend and why the ones that we've encountered are not is an interesting thing.
I don't know the answers to that, but I do know that, as you can tell, my opinions have changed, but that my original opinions were not fully informed. I had not expected the Jarl to be so abnormally emotionally attached to their children.
I'm inclined to agree with all of you, actually.
Well, perhaps the other temple, the Temple of Desolation, could provide us with better answers.
Well, the name implies it won't. It's almost worse than the Dead Tongue, but I suppose we could head there.
Stag, you seem to be quite disturbed by that meeting.
She goes against what I am. Your
And who
matron
are you?
is as well. I'm a being with emotion.
Well, I can tell you that emotions only cloud your judgment, and when you need to make the right decision, they tend to stray you on the wrong path.
Or
It is better
perhaps-
to temper them.
Nothing like a
Tell them
psycho
though-
Would
fanatic
not-
to bring the group together.
It would not be wise to take the words of a fanatic to heart. Fanaticism does not even serve the gods that they claim to worship.
They are not her words, they're his.
They are mine. And I know from experience.
I won't disagree with Gustradh. Emotions can be unnecessary, but I think the Jarl and his clansmen are too deeply ingrained that to deroot those emotions would destroy them.
So go to the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you make your way across the long bridge, walk of remembrance, and as the five of you cross the bridge, no Parringtons are in sight this time, as there is a lot of you. So Shannon, you kind of look around. The psycho-looking griffins are gone. And you approach. Chap.
Oh, important enough for a map.
You know these guys have the right opinions. They got their own chapel map.
They've got animated
I've been in
torches.
this map before.
All the matron church looks the same.
Yeah, Torgrim's been, well, Oververt's been here too.
The torches burn within this compact hearth of a chapel, which also doubles as a clergy's office within this well-kept but very small church. Though not outwardly extravagant, this furniture is of sturdy construction. It's dark wood, polished carefully with oil to maintain its finish. The same oil gives an oaken smell which permeates the room. You can see tombs line the shelves behind a stone altar. In the corner is the flock caller. She has a very large raven that sits on her shoulder, the same one that Shannon saw earlier. But there's also a human which stands at the altar looking out the window towards Vartungard. At first, this human seems large and strapping, but as you watch, his size is exaggerated by the wisps of his shadow clinging to him like a cloak. Like other fate bearers in a clergy, he wears a black raven-beaked mask which conceals all of his face except for his lower jaw. His chosen weapon resides across the altar, which is laying across. It's an enormous scythe made of black ice. On one shoulder perches a raven, which watches you as you enter. He looks up and smiles, and there's a few others saying that are sitting in a quiet prayer in the clergy. He doesn't greet you, he just kind of gives you a nod, welcoming you into the small chapel.
Does anyone want to take lead?
How is it somehow colder in here than it is outside? Till will use her cloak, her wings to make like a cloak around herself. She shivers. Gustradh, I think you should be the one to lead. These are your people, are they not?
We have a similar mind. Stag, are you comfortable staying here?
I'm staying here. Doesn't mean I have to agree with what they say.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Noticing what Till is saying, or sorry, not saying, showing about it being cold, Torgrim would walk up and say, "You know, that saber-tooth fur would have been a good cloak for you."
I'll have you know my wings will do more than enough to keep me warm.
Gustradh will approach the altar and showing reverence or respect, and maybe getting down on one knee and say, "Hail, my name is Gustradh. I am a small worshipper of the Matron of Ravens. My friends, my companions here, have been helping the Jarl protect his daughter, and we have been tasked with trying to help him solve the issue with his daughter and wife. He said that you might be able to help with some sort of solution."
Jarl sent you. That is excellent. We always need more help in saving Narina and Runa. Are you the ones that rescued her from Witch?
We are.
This is most excellent.
we have just come from the other church, and it is very interesting the difference in your opinion, where you are talking about saving her, and the others are talking about ending her.
Yes, what's about that?
Would you like to take a bath? Clean off the stank that you just came from?
We actually just had a bath last night.
Oh.
At least I think some of us did. I don't know. I did.
I did as well.
As did I.
I wouldn't know that. I haven't smelled Torgrim yet. I'll have to do that on the way out.
The primal deities, when they were made by the architect, they were raw. Primal was in their name. After the sacrifice, the primal deities, some, softened their views on life, adapted to the new world. Iana is one of these. Some of us follow the goddess of death as she has adapted to the loss of the architect. Others stay rooted in the past, not learning her new wisdom, just focusing on her old. It'll be a shock when you meet some of the ones that follow the old testaments of the primals.
I have...
Oh, that's came.
Yeah, well, that's Joe's.
Guys back.
Yeah, my Discord crashed. That was weird.
I have gone through the lands quite a bit, and while I've never come across a full church, it seems like many of the teachings that I have come across align more with the newer teachings. I have asked both them, and I'll ask you, how do you see yourself different besides just the new teachings? What do you actually follow?
The old teachings are very prominent in the removal of any undeath, which is still a focal point of the Matron. However, the Matron now realizes that Iana not only wants to dispatch the undeath, but also the fiends which lurk in the below. They are also cause for pause in this world as they return and wreak havoc on what we must deal with. But what changes us from others is the idea that you need to embrace the fate given to you. Destiny cannot be changed, and trying to manipulate this outcome will only lead to sadness and despair. Just like it is not Runa's destiny to die, so that her mother can live. We all have a similar destiny that we do not see, but she does. She gives us glimpses of what that fate may be. It's up to us to piece it together and find our path.
And we've had glimpses, or you've had glimpses of this telling of Runa's fate.
I have. I'm sure that all of you might have had glimpses of what you feel you need to do. It might be intuition pulling you away from a decision. That intuition, that feeling in your gut that tells you walk a different path. That is Iana reaching out to you, giving you guidance to follow your destiny. That is what we believe.
I think my party and I would like to know, what do you have as a
solution to this mess?
Yeah.
Oh yes, here, quick. He turns and he runs to the bookshelf and he starts to to fumble through some tomes. And he turns back around. He has 2 tomes. He drops them both loud on the table. I think I might have 2 solutions. I don't know which is the correct solution, or even if they would work, but it is the best that I can do to try to save the child. After going through many that just didn't hold true, and he looks very solemn. You can tell that he's having a hard time coping, that he hasn't been able to save her yet. He says, first, at least from what we've been able to deduce, is that this curse might be similar to the curse of regeneration that plagues the trolls. Now, the trolls freed themselves from their curse by hematurgy magics. That was a big part in turning the trolls away from the madness, freeing them into trollkins. But only a select few know of this origin. We were trying to find a way to maybe tie this into blood that we believe plagues Narina.
The pools that we found, they had a distinct blood smell, if I recall.
Yes, they bathe in it. It starts to change them and gives them scales. They become some weird mixture of dragon and demon.
You've seen these?
I have, yes.
How?
And I will pull out a couple of the scales that I have been carrying.
Ah, yes, a flat collar told me of your package.
I was unaware that there was anybody else in this city that was aware of the Renfang. Everybody seems to have been thus far ignorant.
Renfang are like a blight. They infest. You never know who might be one of them, who might not be one of them. Best to keep it quiet.
Why are they considered Why are they considered an infestation?
Cults typically are a plague.
Right, I get the basic of humans' belief on that, but what specifically are they doing that's considered to be a blight to the people? Is it their beliefs, their choices, their actions? What makes them so unwanted?
What we've been able to gather, they want to turn all of us, all Salian, be like Narina. Unclean, not of this world. They would call it something greater.
Would turning into one like herself be that wrong? Is it not a better form of yourself? How do you know if it's wrong if it hasn't finished, is what I'm getting at.
Because we believe it comes from the below.
I've only talked to humans for less than a year of my life, and all the confirmation you managed to give out is beliefs but no hard facts. How do you know that it's actually from the below?
Oh.
Because they register as fiends.
Exactly.
Demons,
are fiends
devils
typically those that are dressed in scales? Is that common? I know nothing of fiends, but I know that dragons are ones who dress themselves in scales.
Yes, there are fiends that wear themselves in scales similar to dragons. He looks a little confused. You know what a demon is?
Bing bang!
I know that humans fear them when they sleep, but aside from that, no.
You come from a hive, yes?
I do.
What do you think happens to you when you die?
When we die, the life giver takes us and we rest with him.
Bing bang!
He keeps us protected, And in return, we believe in him. It's as simple as that. What happens when you die? You get sent to the below?
We stand before Bodoma in judgment. And if we have lived a life worthy in Bodoma's eyes, she sends us to paradise.
Well, I don't know who Bodoma is, but I've heard plenty of stories of a lion with wings and a lion with a scorpion tail fighting each other for the souls of humans. I figured that would be what you're talking about. Is it not? They fight for your fate?
They do. But only one can pass judgment.
And which one's judgment's right? How do you know?
The one that straddles the line, light and dark. The great snake, one side filled with the holy light, the other tainted by the below's darkness.
So there's a third creature then. Interesting. And at that, Till will take a step back and quiet up a bit as she thinks.
Do you know of any origin of where these fiends could be coming from? Regenerative properties and all of that aside, they have to be summoning them from somewhere. Perhaps that could give us a way to at least
You don't know
reverse this.
where the origin may come from. But we had a theory. So, different from the curse of regeneration that plagues the trolls that we think has been changed and warped. There was once a red dragon that lived in the mountains in the west. Yeah, it was still a dragon, but it was known to be very hospitable if it was given treasures. We think that maybe since this affliction deals with dragon's blood, that maybe if we can find and speak with this red dragon, he might be able to give us insight on where the blood is coming from. If it's coming from him. But since he is hospitable, he might be willing to speak to more of this if we offer him treasure. His name is Gustradh, born of fire. That's maybe. That's not.
No, God, darn.
Perhaps he could provide us some more insight into the dragon that Syl was trying to revive. Or at least do something with.
I think this is a good direction to go.
Both directions are
Start.
as good as we could do with everything else that we've tried to remove the curses. We supply Narina with ointments to slow her spread that we hope. But we're not sure how well it's doing, if it's even helping her slow the growth of the scales.
Well, at the very worst, if this doesn't work, we can always just do what the other church wants, but at least this gives us a chance at doing it right.
Both choices are very dangerous. One is seeking a red dragon. The other is searching for Thaumaturgy blood magic through trolls. And I guess the third is to try to find a way into wherever this red Renfang layers currently, which we have been unable to do for years.
Can I ask a favor? And I'll gladly pay the cost for it. Can you send a missive to the individual that I sent a missive to last night with the inclusion of this troll blood and hematurgy magic? perhaps my response might be of some help as well.
Yeah, would you like to write? He looks around and grabs parchment and quill. We can send a raven.
Yes, just include that information and I'll put the name of the individual.
If you can send a raven with a note to whoever this is, could we not just send one to the dragon?
I do not know where the dragon is.
If we knew, could we?
Yeah, if we could find him, we could attempt it. He may just eat the raven.
Is there a way to know if that's
Hospitable
what
or not,
happens?
dragons are not known for their patience.
But at least sending the raven means we're safe.
We could fight a dragon if we needed to.
No, I don't think we could. I It is quite honorable of you, Torvald, to think that of us.
Well, if we couldn't, at least we would die trying.
Thanks for fun.
Has the dragon ever met with anyone? For lack of a better way to ask the question.
I believe so. And he turns around and runs to his books. He starts to shuffle through his books. He turns back. It would seem the last known person to speak to the dragon is someone named Volrak.
Are they in this city?
Must be. I hope so.
I'll have to hunt down this individual.
If this is a path that you wish to take, we can take the other path. Work together. You think speaking to the Red Dragon is the route that you would like to go? We can try to find more information about this thaumaturgy magic. Or if you wish to just try to track down the Ren Fang, we can look to pursue another angle.
I think the dragon might be the safest bet. At least we know a direction compared to the other two.
What do you mean
I don't know if we'll get direct answers from the Renfang. My assumption would be that whatever materials or things that Sil was using, we could reverse engineer whatever spell, curse she was casting. It would at least give us some insight into it. See if we could maybe reverse it that way.
But if their actions are based on dragons, could the Red Dragon not know the answer as well?
It is possible, yeah.
It would at least give us more insight into what they're trying to accomplish. That information is useful in some regard. Perhaps not so much for Runa.
Both options are not guaranteed, unfortunately, but we're running out of ideas.
The only options we have left?
Sadly.
Well, of my order and of the Royal College, there might be some information. Especially if it's in the variety of some Primal Deity. It's no guarantee either.
Speaking of the Primal Deities, are you aware what outside of the what's this clan?
Rook Shadow.
Outside of the Rook Shadow, do you know what deities the other clans, the major ones, worship?
I do. What do you want?
Warfare is the most prevalent and most concerning.
The only clan which worships Rolfair is the now crowned Wolfheart clan.
And what of the others?
If you give me a clan's name, I can tell you who they worship. I want to spout out all the clans in a row.
She is not of...
I've heard of the Ivory Tusk. The Pale Mammoth. And the Snow Elves.
He smiles and nods. Your Snow Elves follow the one known as Natsuko the Trickster. Your Pale Mammoth clan follows Erenel the Keen-Eyed. You said Oakhammer?
Yeah.
Oakhammer clan follows Udgir the Stormclaw.
Shannon's going to make a note on the Snow Elves. This little journal. Tuck that away.
You said Pale Mammoth was Theriel?
Yep.
Cool.
Taking a trip to the Pale Mammoth now?
I don't know what you're talking about. That'd be ridiculous. I just wanted to know which one had my deity, alright?
This one, the Matron of Ravens, right?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Pale Mammoth is also the big orc clan. With fire eyes.
Well, I think we've gathered everything we can here. I think it's best to find somewhere secluded and we can digest our options.
You can go ahead without me. I have some business here.
I do have one other question before we leave. What were the flying things again? Griffins.
The
Peritons?
The
Yeah,
Peritons. Would I know what they were? I can't say that Shannon is a biologist by any stretch of the imagination, but
Make a nature check.
use that advantage. Come on.
You want to use your advantage?
I might as well.
With a 21, Peritons, they like to eat on flesh of the dead. And when they eat too much of it, they start to take in a lot of the essence of the undeath, and their shadows are a mixture of all of the creatures they've ate.
Oh, well, if I know that, that already answers the question I was going to ask. So, okay, never mind then.
So these things like wait for people to go across the procession for the funeral, and then they dive down and they try to eat the bodies.
Wonderful.
So everyone's leaving about Gustradh?
Just as we leave, I will pass by Gustradh and say in a low voice, I have a way to find that obsidian bear, if it is something you would like to do. As long as it is still around.
That will be most helpful. But I think you and I both know that the child is going to be a priority. But when we have time, we will definitely follow.
It's always an option.
Oh.
Thank you, Stag.
Before I leave, I'll be sure to sign the missive to who it's going to, and I'll give him 2 gold for the Raven.
Okay.
Yep. So, I mean, Gustradh wouldn't mind if anyone stayed behind or stayed with him, but Gustradh would look at the Fate Bearer and say, "I have come on quite a pilgrimage. I knew that there was a strong hold of the Matron of Ravens in this area. And while I have come across quite a bit of her teachings, our followers are not the most structured. It has taken some time to get here, but I have had a lot of time to think about what I want to do with my life. And I think it is time to devote myself completely to the Matron. I was concerned that there were 2 different churches in this city, but it feels like the teachings and the instructions that you have in this area fits and aligns with my own beliefs of the Matron. If you'd have me, I'd like to become part of the church. A part of the flock. I guess that is more better term.
You would be most welcome joining the flock of the Desolation. I have seen that you have given yourself death, fate, solitude into winter. I can feel not only the hatred for undead that resides in you, but I believe that you are embracing your ultimate fate by walking this path. Your inevitable end is this destiny to join the desolate. You would know more than any that we as the desolate, we have no central church. We see ourselves as the first line of defense against the undead and any significant scourge which threatens it. You have answered the call of the scourge that threatens Vartungard, and I will happily welcome you to the Matron's Nest. Now going in. She reaches over. She has this very ornate symbol. It's like a mantle that he's wearing. Black feathers, there's a couple of skulls and bones that are interwoven into it, and he hands it to you. And you take this oath, and you wear this mantle. You turn your back on Diana's teaching. She is not one to attack one's faith lightly, but she will remove your abilities that she grants you if you do not follow solitude, fate, and winter. The goddess of death will watch over you. And maybe while you're at it, change your sword for a scythe. She hands you the mantle. The flock collar comes up behind you and she'll help you put it on. She ties it around your neck and kind of tightens it to the back so it doesn't move and attaches to your armor. Now you have these heavy raven's feathers that kind of sit down.
Gustradh will take a moment and then I guess he was kneeling at the time, and then will stand up and just kind of test out how it feels standing and walking. Is there anything else that I must do?
You know the tenants, and you feel the winter's chill. You are
Okay.
much colder now than what you used to be.
I can. It almost feels numb.
Use the winter's ice. Shatter undeath. Fear nothing. Now cold runs through your veins. Watch over your flock. They are naive, but worthy. And if you find
will.
anything worthy of relaying to us, please do not hesitate. You have our full support in this. We must save the girl.
I will do my best.
As you walk towards your party, when you get within 5 feet of any of them, they get a little chill, a little wispy cold. Now and forever, whenever you're around them.
I told you it was cold in here.
Cold-blooded.
Not sleeping next to Gustradh, that's for sure.
I'm never going into a bathtub with him. He's just gonna freeze all the water.
Well, guess what? The benefit and the side effect of this is that no troll will want to sleep with me again.
Fair.
So I win.
Now you get armor bag at this. You get ice knife. You get the armor of ice, channel divinity, and the shatter undeath.
Oh yeah.
About to cast continual flame on you.
He basically petrifies any undead creature around him. Just
Oh, yeah.
yes.
I've seen it in action. It's pretty great.
so it's 11:30 Eastern. You guys want to stop here?
I think this is a great spot to stop at. Gustradh's become Gustradh.
Yeah.
Gustradh.
We're gonna have another 2-hour conversation with this guy we need to find.
But now the
I want to go with the droopy eye guy. More stories.
so you got a couple side quests. There are a couple things that you haven't got to yet just because there's so much here. I can give you one hint. And it's to look at the notice board again. Pretty sure you can see it. Hope you can see it.
I took a screenshot of it.
It'll be under
Can
the
look at
Yeah.
the bread,
journal.
and we can go to the Silverwood Lodging. Oh! Okay. I see.
Yeah, we definitely want to hit that fallen fruit tree and that Silverwood Lodging for various reasons.
Yeah.
We gotta get some soggy bread, to taste test that too.
Mm-hmm.
At No
That is-
Nonsense Bakery.
The hidden gem right there. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of buff we get from going there. It's a rare candy. We actually gain a level from going there.
That'd be cool.
Then maybe you guys will go see this thing.
See, I told you that thing was cool.
Is that the stone down there?
Yeah, it's the Wayfinder stone.
Oh, I want to see it so bad.
That's really neat looking.
We'll definitely hit that spot too. We could do
Oh,
4
I
sessions
see
easily,
it.
just exploring this whole city.
I know. Now I'm trying to okay. Well, I guess next episode is more exploration.
You give us a whole map and expect us to not look at everything.
That's fine.
We're a lot more focused than.
It's good.
Yeah.
We're here to milk
Previous
every
campaigns.
single drop.
Yeah.
Give me the lore.
Still gotta check out Gizrog.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
evil.
our
He's
bread
not
has
at
to
work.
be.
I want a refund.
He does look like he'll rip us off, though.
Swindler.
I
He
call
has
it
2 eyes. What the hell?
2 eyes for a great deal.
I always walk in there with Sean and a detect magic ready.
Boom. Well, that is
We got
tonight's
our
This
episode.
is what you're selling me. That's really it.
We got our long rest. We got all the HP in the world.
Level 3.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Can't wait to cast a locate object and find a cursed object.
It'd be funny if it was on that drunk pirate. Hey everybody,
Get rid
thanks
of
for
that.
watching. Hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. We'll back at it next week, Tuesday at 8 o'clock for episode 4. We also have another game starting this Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern in Gustradh.
Let's go.
Thanks for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, hit follow, and we'll see you in the next one. Good night.